Thanks for staying with us. As we already know, Lagos is a coastal state. To commemorate this year's World Ocean Day coming up on Sunday, joining us in the studio to speak on this year's theme, which is Wonder, Sustaining What Sustains Us, and highlighting the ocean's wonder and the need to protect it, recognizing the importance of his role, is Honorable Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure, Honorable Ekundayo Bush-Alebiosu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
World Ocean Day. Did you come with mermaids? Because I want to talk about mermaids today. And what is this World Ocean Day celebration about?
Basically, as we know, our waters in Lagos sustains us. Over the years, they've always said that what Lagos has is land and water. And both land and water are very much expensive. We look at our interactions with water. How do we see it? Just like with certain animals, with cats, with dogs, you know, there's certain cultures that embrace them, that show them a lot of love. And on the other side, you see some cultures really getting uncomfortable with them, being uncomfortable with them. Similarly, how do we embrace our waters? How do we interact with our waters? How do we relate with our waters? We know this is what we depend on for livelihood, particularly the lagoon. All our fresh fish comes from there. You know, the aquatic splendor, what it supplies us. However, there's the tendency of abusing the lagoon, not appreciating the lagoon enough, dredging indiscriminately, reclaiming indiscriminately, dumping of refuse, drains and all that. And you know, the amazing thing is, even the water we drink and we say is the purest type of water from the borehole, where do we think it comes from?
The ocean.
Absolutely. And when we continue to not show it the respect it deserves, nature has a way of fighting back. Eventually we end up paying for it. So we need to just begin to have a good understanding of that. For example, you would have somebody saying agege, thinking, what's my business? If they like, let them reclaim illegally, let them dredge illegally. It's actually their business. Because you find out that over time, I've tried to explain this over and over again, that the way God designed everything, right on the waterbed, is you have microorganisms that actually feed our fish and our seafood. And every time you disturb the waterbed, it moves further. And of course, the fishermen would have to go further. And rather than just dipping your hand in water and pulling out maybe some croaker or tilapia, you have to chase them further and further. So rather than paying 500 a piece, you end up paying 5,000 a piece.
Yes, what your office, what is it doing? That's, of course, with Lagos State government and your office, what are you doing to protect the
space?
the ecosystem, the coastal and marine ecosystem, beyond conversations? Yes.
Well, it's important to have conversations. It's important to have a good understanding, things we didn't pay attention to. And you'd be amazed how people react when they say, wow, I didn't realize that.
Yes, that's important, definitely.
I didn't realize this. We have to engage people. It's not enough to just have laws or make laws. It has been said that the law may not change the hearts of men, but it will certainly change the habits of men.
Yes.
So not until you engage them, you let them have an understanding of this is what you're doing, and this would be the effect on the long run over a certain period. Then you can bring out the big stick and there's no reason for you not to have done what you ought to have done. If we know our rights, we should also know our responsibilities.
Yeah, they go hand in
So
hand.
I think we were coming from the conversation of NOA, and we actually highlighted the way Nigerians don't have respect or regard for hard work, dignity, and labor. And looking at hearing what you have just said now, also mentioning the word respect, that we actually lack respect for even our waterways. I think maybe it's this impunity we all grew up with. But I realize now that if you look at the Ministry of Environment, they are really enforcing no dirts on the road. You'll be once you're apprehended, you're going to court, you're serving the time, or you're paying fines. Is there anything like that from your own commission as well to say, are you deploying people to monitor?
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you don't monitor, Nigerians, we have coconut head. That is to break it quick. If you don't monitor and put stringent measures and laws to make people know that it's one person that will tell one person. The day one person took tickets from Third Milan Bridge, he came to Twitter and told everybody that there's ticket available. So what are you doing in regards of this?
We haven't stopped since I've been sworn in, appointed as Commissioner of Waterfront. We first of all had to, it's not enough to do your best at anything. You must know what to do first before you do your best at it. And we were able to look at everything that had to do with infrastructure, our waters and things. And eventually, we realized that we definitely cannot stop monitoring. It's pretty expensive going on this monitoring things. You can imagine going by boat, sending out different teams. And some people are law abiding, some people are a bit more, some people are a bit more testing. Let's see what government would do. Let's see what government would do.
Yeah, human beings.
And for me, I think like a fixer, and I believe there's no problem in the world that does not have a solution except for death. And we continue to engage where there's need to. For example, we've gotten all the necessary cooperations that we require from this administration. Our boats are up and running. We have some vehicles on the road. We're expecting delivery of some vehicles. We're also coming up with policies. For example, we have a policy in place right now that's been approved by Mr. Governor and EXCO, on behalf of EXCO rather, where there's a serious case of reclamation. And what we're doing is we continue to narrow out our lagoon. We continue to narrow it. Don't forget that the master architect, God knew what he was doing when he designed it like that. But when we decide or we assume we know better than God, of course, there would be there'll be consequences. So one of the things we've done is to stem that tide of illegal reclamation. We've had to come up with a policy that says you would first of all forfeit half of what you've reclaimed to the state government, and you'd also pay penalties based on open market value of half of whatever the other half is. Can people reclaim
without government being involved?
You'd be surprised what goes on.
Okay, so so I've been curious and I want to ask this question, right? Yeah. They said some parts of the ocean have been sold to individuals, because I realized that there was a time we went somewhere with a friend, and we saw these two people arguing and fighting. They were like, this one went to fish and he entered my own land in the water there, and this one to enter, so they were fighting, and I was like, how did they do, just the way we sell land here, how did they, yeah, exactly, and how did he know that he went to catch the fish from his own side?
You have what you call cadastral. This is done in Abuja, and it's basically like survey on land, but in this case on water. It's important to have that in place, and the reason is that in the process of getting your cadastral for whatever purpose you want to use it for, say for example in the case of dredging, pumping of sand, there are boundaries, first of all. Secondly, you also have to understand that should in case you run into some kind of mineral resource, it's also easy to actually pinpoint where it's being seen. So it actually takes care of a lot of those things.
Yeah, we'll take a short break here. Okay. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We are still talking about the World Ocean Day. We still have our Honorable Commissioner in the house. I went by the waters a few weeks ago to Ilashe. A few years ago, I had done the boat cruise to that area, and the waters were really very dirty. We could see plastics all over the place. But when I went about 2 weeks ago, it was a lot cleaner. The water was, you know, I saw just a few, but it seemed like there was deliberate action to clear out the water, you know, spaces. And I wanted to ask you, how responsive are the locals to some of these policies about making sure that the waters are clean, or not dragging or doing some illegal things around the waters? Are they really responsive to the government, or are there stringent measures that you apply there to get them to comply to keep the waters the way they are right now?
We continue to engage them, and to be honest, I get that. I've gotten that question a few times. It's very easy to assume that the locals are actually the main culprits, but they're not. No. Okay. I've observed, I'd say about 4 or 5 times, lovely looking vehicles stop on the third mainland and throwing garbage bags over into the water. We see people stop on the bridges, cameras catch them, they're arrested, they're prosecuted. There was one that even happened of late where the state was able to trace them with their license plates, and they went to them. And but the major kind of pollution you have, where you have dredging, you always have pollution. Like they say, when you pray for rain, you have to deal with the mud. It comes with it. We continue to engage everybody, whether class A, B, C, grassroots, upper class, middle class. We continue to engage them. We speak the language they understand. We communicate in the most, in the best way through which we can reach out to them. So it's not as if we're leaving some out or we're pointing at a particular set of people. It's a general outcry. I mean, it's a general reach out, and we communicate based on who we're speaking with.
And I agree with you, sir, because I also feel that the locals have a respect for the water body more than, you know, the rest of us, those in the urban areas. I think the biggest culprit for the pollution that happens there is the urbanization. But, you know, beyond that, you know, the theme this year, sustain what sustains us.
Absolutely.
And I have always thought of, like, you know, when we talk about Lagos, is a coastal city, is surrounded by water, but there are no boats, what do you call
like
them?
Regatta
yes, that happen on a large scale. You know, there are no water sports on a large scale. Lagos water sports, we don't have that.
Lagos Water Sports Festival.
Yeah, festival is what I was going to say. Lagos Water Sports Festival. Why are we not doing that? And I feel that that will be a huge way for tourism, generate revenue for the states, and just generally make people happy.
You know, there's this culture plays a major role in our everyday lives. In the past, we've gotten to understand that a lot of mothers believe that they don't even want their children going close to
the water.
To the waters. Like I, for example, even when I have to go do my monitoring of water, I don't say otherwise.
Can you swim, sir?
But I try, but not like in pools, yes, but not like
open water.
Not at the Olympic
Yes. And this is the same thing. But things are changing now because people are gradually getting to understand and trust our waters more. And when you look at data available, you'd see that the number of people that would patronize water transport, say a couple of years ago, the number has really probably gone 3-4 times the number it used to be. And it continues to grow. Hence why we're building a lot of infrastructure around Lagos in terms of jetties and pontoons and things like that. There's a saying that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will begin to change. So it's important that you let people see things from where they ought to see them from. You engage them, you communicate with them, you put a plethora of different things in place policies, like she had asked earlier. We have a summit coming up soon where we need to bring all the major stakeholders together, traditional rulers, CDAs, everybody, dredgers, and we take a look at where we're able to communicate the problems that might happen or will happen if we do not do things the way we're supposed to do things. There's nothing bad in reclamation, to be honest with you. There's Canary Wharf. We could mention several places. Look at in Dubai, the Palm Jumeirah is simply reclamation.
Where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're sitting on reclaimed land.
Yes, we're sitting on reclaimed land. We've been able to save where things used to be, but it's only when it's done uncontrolled, when it's done indiscriminately, when it's done illegally. It's like building anyhow. We've seen cases in the past where people actually built on roads, and they had to on canals and things like that, where they had to demolish them. The same thing happens on water, and that's why we're really coming strong and coming hard to say, well, we're not the bad guys, but we have to do what we have to do to keep things as natural as we can.
Would it be like a special celebration this Sunday for World Ocean Day?
Oh yes, that's what that day is all about. It's a day dedicated, just like Children's Day, Workers' Day. It's a day set aside to get to understand and appreciate the natural gift of nature that we have.
Does your ministry work with influencers, community for different initiatives?
Definitely. This would actually be the first major one the Ministry of Waterfront Infrastructure would be doing. And of course we have to do it differently. When you look at different parts of the world, I will emulate where I need to emulate, but I don't have to copy and paste. I have to domesticate it. I have to look at the problems and how that we need to speak to and the peculiarity of ours.
But lastly, I think I would like to ask, when you were speaking, you mentioned about it being expensive, pretty expensive to put guards on the water,
to monitor
and all of that. What is your ministry enjoying as regards budgeting? Because I know that all of this will come from budget, and they've told us from the federal that anything that we want in the states, we should come to our governors. And knowing that now they're enjoying triple the dose of what they used to enjoy. So is your ministry also enjoying at least a budget push for you to be able to achieve your goals and your cause?
To be honest with you, I'd remain grateful to the State Assembly. I'd remain grateful to the administration and Mr. Governor. They've all been extremely cooperative. It's just that there's a saying that if birds would learn to fly without perching, hunters must learn to shoot without missing.
Stopping.
So you have to continue. I mean, it's a battle out there. Sometimes you go to stop these guys. They have guns. They have all sorts. Charms, guns, but we have to do what we have to do.
Afraid of charms.
Did you just mention charms?
You're afraid of charms.
We've seen it all. We've seen it all.
Miriam said that you are
So what did you do to people who you've seen with things like
not
that?
anymore. I'm fortified. I had a bit of the mermaid cooked.
Mermaid soup.
Exactly. So what do you do to the people who have all these charms?
No, we prosecute them. There are penalties. There are all sorts of things.
For the charms?
Charms?
No,
you don't have to recognize it. You just deal with the fact. It's not the charms. It's not against the law that they have charms on them. What you deal with is the hostility. So you ignore those things and just deal with the hostility, the situation at hand.
Thank you so much for joining us today to share on the upcoming celebrations for the World Ocean Day, and I wish you the best.
Is there an opening
ministry? I don't know if there's like
United
a conference,
Nations.
or meetings.
Anybody can come in.
You can ask these questions behind the scene. Why are you stressing me? Thank you so much, Honorable, for being with us today. So we've been talking to Honorable Commissioner for the Waterfront Infrastructure, Honorable Ekundayo Bush-Alebiosu. Did I pronounce the name well?
Alebiosu, yes,
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, ladies, for your wonderful contributions to the show today.
Exactly.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. That's all we can take on the show. Bye-bye now.